What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Oh, good. Just ready to get back into the in the saddle for another
So
week.
it's been a little bit since we've had a softball interview, hasn't it been?
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, it feels good to get back into, I guess, the good graces of the softball gods. We're getting ready to
And
start our fall season, so getting back into the game we enjoy.
get to our roots, man. So I want to talk about kind of the guests we have coming on here in a minute. We'll introduce
Yep,
Tuesday DerMargosian. We know we love softball and we love anyone that represents the sport.
yep,
This lady spent some time with UNT, Texas, of course, has done the coaching role now after post college. And Dane, that's how highly we think of her with softball. We're born and bred Sooners, but even with a Texas thing, we love her. Of course, we love Texas now. We're just kidding, but doing a great thing for the sport. The ambassador knows some of our good people, knows Sierra. The
yep.
softball world just kind of gets smaller and smaller the more we do this. And we're just grateful to finally have the time to
Absolutely.
catch up with her. Been trying for quite some time. We're finally there, finally able to sit down with the legendary Coach DerMargosian. Coach Tuesday, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here, and I'm thankful you guys were diligent on reaching out because I'm not very active on my Facebook Messenger. So I'm glad that you guys reached out again because I am happy to be here.
It's a true honor. Like I
Yeah,
said, thank you for what you've done for the sport. We appreciate you so much. A couple questions we're going to dive right into. I know you're a busy lady. I'm going to take the lead here. Obviously, from your days again, Texas, UNT, coaching, the whole softball like world that you've lived in. I'm curious. Take me back to when this began. When did you get the love for
yep.
softball? Where did softball begin for Tuesday? You know?
I started playing softball when I was 8 years old. I did a bunch of different other sports. I did gymnastics, ballet, tap and jazz. And I actually have an older brother who played baseball. And that was kind of like the thing was I was always at the field. I would go and play around. I would join the practices. And then my parents were like, oh, okay, let's throw her into softball. So I started doing softball, and it's really funny because I played on a rec team getting started. And when I first moved here to Texas, because I moved around a lot growing up, and the first team I played for was called the Shorthorns, and they actually had sawed off horns on the picture or like the front of the jersey. So it was super ironic that
That's
in like
cool.
in the end, I end up going to Texas, not A&M. So I really try not to show that photo anywhere because
That's
I
awesome.
saw it off. But it was really because my brother was playing baseball, and so my parents put me into softball. But I think, and I just kind of excelled in it. I think the background of playing other sports, doing gymnastics, doing ballet, tap, and jazz, that really helped me with a rhythm. And my parents they always said it looked so easy to you every time, because I whenever I was in the outfield, they would always say it just flows so well, you're just so graceful out there. And I really think it was because I started off where I started. Um and I really enjoyed the team aspect, being around a bunch of girls, um because I'm very much a girl's girl. And so I loved the whole team aspect and being able to collaborate and be my goofy self, because honestly, I felt like my true self whenever I was on the softball field.
Mm.
Um, so I think that was really like the driving force of what kept me going.
That's a perfect like segue into that. You could do a plie and hit a home run at the same time. I love it.
Yeah,
Right?
there you go.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, just dance around the bases as you hit the home runs.
I love
Now,
that.
whenever you started playing, what positions did you try? Did you try a lot of different positions before you settled on the ones you enjoyed? And was there a position that maybe you wish you did more of through your career?
Yeah, so I did kind of play around with everything but catcher. I know at practice one time our coach was like, "Hey, anybody want to like just try it?" And I got back there and it was so hard. I applaud all the catchers out there. That is really, really hard job. But I dabbled a little bit at third base. I really liked the aggressiveness and just being there ready to go for a bunt. I mean, that was like my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, I played a little bit of first base, played a little bit of second base and shortstop. And then I just remember overthrow my first baseman whenever I was at shortstop. And so I told my mom after one tournament, I said, Mom, I think my arm is too strong. Like, I think I need to be a doctor.
I
And
love
she's like,
that.
well, why don't you go out there and try it? Like, she was so open and letting me do whatever really my thought was. She was like, okay, go for it. So I started going into the outfield, and that's really where I found my passion. Being the last line of defense and being able to make those game difference plays is really what drove me to want to stay in the outfield. And so as I also did do, I went to one pitching lesson. That was it. After
Really?
that,
Okay.
I was like, I don't know. I don't think pitching is for me either. So literally everything but catching. So I think that outfield is just it's really underrated
Mhm.
because I mean, we're the ones making those crazy plays and those those game winning plays.
Yeah.
So, and
It's factual. Yep.
it gives you that adrenaline that I have yet to find, post college. I have yet to find, to be similar but I love outfield, and
Mm.
I will teach it till the day I die. I mean, that is just something that I feel like a lot of people don't really hone in on, is the little things in the outfield. And
Mhm.
that's kind of why I made it my mission to I just want to share the good news about outfield and share anything I can, let everybody know
Spot
that's
on.
Yeah,
that's where
We've had this
absolutely.
discussion before, Dane, right? We both
Yeah,
agree outfield is one of the most vital spots in the field, in my opinion. I agree.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever you start that young age, everybody's just kind of in the outfield. You think, well, I don't get any action. And then
Mhm.
as you grow, you start to understand it's a vital portion of the team. So, but now
Yes.
being in the outfield for all those years, and you've made your share of great plays. When you think back in your college days or even your club days and your younger days of playing, are there maybe a few games or moments that stick out to you that you kind of can't wait to tell those whenever everybody else maybe starts telling their war stories, I guess?
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I have about two in college and one in travel ball. So I'll start with
Mhm.
the one in travel ball. The one in travel ball, we were playing like our rival team, and I was in center field, and it was actually my coach's college roommate. So that's why we were like kind of rival teams, is because I mean they grew up together, and so we really wanted to win this game, and I just literally laid it all out on the field because there was this short ball and I dove and did like a little Superman dive in kind of around second base, and I somehow it slipped out of my glove a little bit, but I still managed to catch it. And I like had caught it on my biceps. Like I was able, I held it and then it
That's
rolled off.
cool.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But it was a catch. It was the last out of the inning, and it was literally a game changer. So that was a big deal for me, and that's really when I was like, okay, this makes a difference. And then as I went into college, there were a few games. So my freshman year, we were playing at A&M in a regional game, and I remember there was a foul ball, and I was in left field actually, and there was a foul ball, and I just went all out. I mean, those are my favorite, the foul balls, because I mean, you really weren't
Yeah.
getting penalties for anything if you didn't catch it. So I just went all out, and I made this amazing diving play in foul territory, and I mean, that was awesome. So and then the last one was I was defending Miranda Ellish's
Okay.
her no hitter. So I had I think we were
No
playing
pressure, right? No pressure. Right.
New Mexico State. I think I'm not quite sure. I don't really remember who, but I was in center field, and there was this ball that was kind of dying a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to drop to my knees. So I did kind of like this rock star dive, and so my knees were still underneath me, and just dove on my knees and was able to catch it. So that was that was pretty nice, and I saved her for so she could still have that no hitter. So that was exciting.
I'm thinking about
Wow.
I'm replaying it back in my head. Like maybe you could teach that in drills, the whole bicep catch where it's like, yo, I got it. And you're just kind of sliding in. You know what I'm saying? I can just see it now. I got it, got it. You know, as you're sliding into the rock star. We call it the bicep catch around here. That's awesome. I love that. Well, that's just cool. It's neat to hear because a lot of times we'll hear athletes talk about, maybe like seasons of stuff, but to remember an actual play, that's pretty cool
Yeah.
just to hear how deep your mind's gotten in the game. You can tell no wonder when you coach people, they love your influence because you're definitely a student of the game. I mean, I look at your influences, of course, Coach Mike. I mean, again, I think Coach Kuhn, Sierra. The influence goes far and wide, like you said. Now, the net that you're casting, I always think it's cool to see what you've learned. High caliber player, watched you play many times, and then now the net that you've cast on others. I talk about the influence you're spreading on your students and all that. But I'm curious, there's got to be one or two, maybe now or back in the day, who's been a couple big influences on you as a player?
Yeah, there's I would say almost all of my coaches influenced me in some way, shape, or form as I grew in the game of softball. They each gave me a little piece that I was able to take and use and influence the girls that I teach now in my day to day. So I always reference back to them, and I just know like they whether it was teaching me what I didn't want to do, how I didn't want to coach, or how I did want to coach, I was able to gain just a little bit of something. But I played for Tony Rico
Okay.
for the national team for the Firecrackers, and we actually won PGF that year. And he was really influential to me because he always believed in me, and I think he was one person that really stood out to me because I got on the team that summer, well, that last year, so fall and summer, but I had already committed to Texas, and so I really wasn't doing too much. I wasn't really getting too much playtime in the fall, and then in the summer, he played it very much like how a college team is. If you're like a senior on the team
Mm.
or been there the longest, like how whoever's been there the longest, they're going to be the ones that get out there on the field. But I was really diligent and just kept on pushing and really trying to learn the way, the firecracker way. And I actually had gotten a chance that PGF championship game. We had played Cal Cruisers, I think, and I got a chance to hit, and he pulled me aside and he goes, you know why I put you in the lineup, right? And I was like, actually, no, like I don't know if you put me in the lineup. He's like, because like you've just been so diligent in learning the game, and I really believe that you can make a difference in this game. And I actually remember I had a chop that went right over third base, and I was one of the 3 hits in the game, and I had scored assist. So
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow.
I like such it was so awesome
The
to
details, yeah. Details.
get.
I love it.
I mean, it was on TV, and so it was my first ever television game, and I was able to get the chance to score a run, and I was one of 3 hits. Like that's just so amazing, and it being just a simple chop, like little chop slap right over third, like it just shows that as long as you have barrel control, you're the field is your wonderland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see why, again, I keep going back to student of the game, learn the game. No wonder you're so effective at coaching too. It's just, Dana, am I right? You could just hear it in her voice. Like she's just a brilliant softball mind. Help me out here because I'm starting to I'm making notes of my own. I'm kind of getting carried away. Help me out, Dane.
Well, like you said, a lot of times you get guests or anybody that they go a broad general game, but you break it down to even a play, and
Mhm.
seeing that, in any game, one play could make a difference. So you prepare yourself for that moment, and when it comes, you can shine in it. So it's a great message to hear, saying you're diligent. Your coach seen that in you. You're diligent. You're doing what you should. So when it's your time, I know you're going to do it, and you did.
Yeah.
So it's a great
Yeah.
message to pass to that next generation. So now that whenever we go into 2024, I know you were coaching and I know you do some lessons and things like that. What's next for you coming up to kind of round out the second half of 2024 and then obviously going into the next year for you?
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep on giving lessons. I love to have my one-on-one hitting I do hitting, fielding, I mean literally anything that my lessons come to me and say, "Hey, can you help me out with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, if we have the space, we have the time, I am here to help you out." So I love actually just that one-on-one communication with the girls because I really get to know them on that personal level because I always strive to get to know players more than just from the softball scene because I always tell them you're more than just a softball player, you're a daughter, you're a friend, you're a sister, you are more than just being a softball player and your
Yep.
identity is stuck in that. And so I really actually enjoy being able to influence the kids, the younger generation of softball players. And it's been awesome. It's so rewarding to see them grow. And I actually just had my first, I had my last lesson until for her to go to college. She is the first one I have that's going to college. So
That's awesome.
going to Grinnell University, and so I'm super excited for her. And it was a sad last lesson, but she said she was like, "I'll come back. Don't worry. You'll see me during winter break for tune-ups. You'll see me during the summer, and I'll spill all the gossip from college." So I'm super excited to see her when she is going through her softball season, and also when she comes back. So that's probably the most rewarding thing I could do is just give back to the community because I learned so much through my years and learned from the best, literally the best of the best. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of selfish of me to not share the good news of
Mm.
softball and all the little things that I learned growing up because I was influenced by these great people. So all the things, all the lessons that they've taught me, I've held it in really tight and kept it close to my heart so I can share it with the kids too. And I hope that they can look back and say, "Hey, like this coach really cares about me. This coach really cares about me." And I can stay connected with them for years to come.
Yeah, awesome, man. I got a page of notes already. Like detail, share the good news, almost like share the gospel of softball. I keep hearing this message from you where it's like, and you're saying something. You know, your daughter, your sister, you're way more than a player, and that's exactly why we started trying to share this message with softball, making amazing young ladies that are turned into an amazing adults. The
Yep.
details, the things you still remember on the field, it's just a small percentage of how much it helps you in real life. So the parallel from softball. Wouldn't you agree, Coach? Like that, there's a parallel to that. Would you agree?
Yep.
You know?
I do agree. And that's one of the biggest things that I do try to teach my kids is um, it's it's more than just that, and these things teach you how to go into the real world. I mean, in my interview for my first big girl job, I actually used softball as one of the analogies that they had asked me when it was coming down to communication. I had told them, I was like, being a center fielder, I have to communicate with the people to the left and right of me so they know how hard I can go or if they need to back me up. And so and they were like, "Yeah, actually, we researched you. We know that you played center field for UNT, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, exactly." So
That's awesome.
yes, they do their research on you. But two, you can use softball. I mean, it just teaches you so much. It teaches you confidence. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you how to collaborate because I mean,
Yeah.
in the work, we're collaborating every day.
Right,
So
right.
it really it gave me so much. And again, I go back to it gave me so much that I feel just indebted to just give all of that good news back to
Mm.
the players that I coach now. So yeah.
I, I absolutely love it. I'm gonna call it that. Share the good news of softball. I love that. That's such a cool little thing there. I'm over here kind of tearing up, making notes. Tuesday, thank you for this. We're just not done yet. There's a segment. I guarantee you, in all of the media days, all the things you've done, there's a segment that you've never had before in your career of interviews. We have a little something that we call rapid fire. Okay, so let me explain how this works. I intentionally kept you in the dark on this. If you've listened to any previous episodes, every episode, all 300 of these, we always have about 5 questions that we ask the guest, and Dane and I bet on what we think you're going to say. There's 5 5 questions. There's no wrong answer. You go with what you feel is right, and we'll tell you if we're right or wrong, betting on you. It's pretty cool. So the way it works, Tuesday, is the winner gets lunch provided by the loser. Dane did win last week, so I'm hoping to kind of bounce back. Now, here's the tricky part about this. There's no wrong answer because these questions could be like true or false. It could be like reality doesn't exist. You can go back in time. It could be about a cartoon. You could be a make-believe character. It's just 5 questions about your personality, and you pick what you feel is the right answer. Sound good?
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So you don't have to answer instantly, but rapid fire. We'll see who gets close. Dane, you ready? You got your picks? You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. So question 1, Tuesday, they're doing a Texas event. They're doing a concert. They're doing a kind of a fundraiser for, different programs around the state. And they're going to have a celebrity bowling tournament at this kind of concert festival. You get to choose your bowling partner for this, I don't know, maybe just like upcoming fundraiser or whatever you want to call it. You can choose, this is pretty current right now, your bowling partner. You can choose between Sabrina Carpenter. She's very, very fresh right now. Or you can choose between Billie Eilish to be your bowling partner. Sabrina or Billie, who's going to be your bowling partner? Go.
Billie.
Oh, I had Sabrina, Dane. I really did, man. What'd you have on that, Dane?
I put Billie Eilish. Make it interesting out there.
Okay. Dane, you're starting out. You're making. Yeah. So Dane, we're gonna see how this goes, but Dane's got 1 on me. Okay, it's all good, all good. So, question 2. You're called up to we're going to take you back in time. We're going to say back to maybe one of your last years of playing. We're going back to the Women's College World Series, and they're doing some celebrity kind of like extra things like all-star tournament stuff like that. Somehow they dare you to go do some juggling for whatever reason. They dare you to do like a juggling contest. Okay, and what it is you get to have your opponent that you juggle against at the Women's College World Series. You can do a juggling contest against. Check this out. Love both these ladies, both amazing singers. You can do a juggling contest against Beyonce or a juggling contest against Whitney Houston. Beyonce, Whitney, who do you want to go against?
One of the greats. Both the greats.
Yeah,
That's so
both one of the greats. Yeah, both great.
Beyonce.
Oh my gosh, I'm striking out. I'm 0-2. I just felt like I had to go on this kind of classic. I love them both, but Dane, did you have Beyonce or Whitney?
Yeah. I just tossed a coin. That was a tough one.
Ooh, man.
Icons.
Imagine if they were singing while you're doing it too. Like she's singing "I Will Love You." That'd be awesome. Okay. Well, let me try to catch up here. So, Dane, you got me 2-0 right now. Tuesday, it's all good. No wrong answers. So, action movie time. They want you, obviously, being an awesome athlete. You got the training done. You're very athletic, very fast. So naturally, they want you to play in one of the 2 upcoming iconic female superhero movies, and you're going to be the lead character. Your 2 choices: you can be the next Wonder Woman, or you can be the next Batwoman. Which way are you going?
Wonder Woman.
Okay. I quit right now, Dane. I quit. I'm 0-3. I got Wonder Woman wrong. I got Wonder Woman wrong. Dane, what'd you have on that?
Oh, I'm batting 1,000, man.
Yeah, you had Wonder Woman on that?
Oh, yeah. I've been on fire these past couple weeks. Unstoppable, man.
Oh, man. Okay. Let me see if I can save some face
Who
here.
wouldn't want to be Wonder Woman?
I'm a huge DC like Batman universe. I could just see you like kicking some butt. Like I could see you kind of taking out the Penguin and all this. That'd be so cool. It's okay. I'm not hurt. I promise. 2 more on these. So you're gonna coach a ESPN flag football tournament. You're gonna be the coach. And this is a hot item right now. And you get to choose one of these 2 guys to be your quarterback. Okay, love them. They're both hilarious. The movie was fantastic. But for your flag football team that you're coaching, you can have Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman be your quarterback. Which way are you going?
Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, I got 1 right. Thank goodness. I got 1 right. I finally got 1 right. Dave, what'd you have on that?
I had Hugh Jackman on that. So
dude, we just seen the movie and it's just hot off our minds and all that. So finally got 1. Okay. It's okay. No wrong answer. So final one, check this out. They want you to kind of with a collaboration, like you said. So your skills are being put into a different direction. And this artist calls you up and says, Tuesday, I want you to help me write a song. They want you to help them write a song for their upcoming album. No big deal. The artist is Ed Sheeran. So you get to write a song with Ed Sheeran. Okay. Lay that out. And the topics, this is the thing. It's a concept album. You have to help Ed Sheeran write a song about one of these 2 topics. Talkie chips or Twinkies? Talkie chips, Twinkies. Which way are we going?
I have to go Talkie chips because I have a really bad experience with Twinkies. So I cannot.
Let's go.
Yes.
Dane, what'd you have?
I had Takis because my daughter loves those things. So
So
that's the
good.
only thing that's always on my mind.
That's gonna be a great song one day. I'm just telling you on the radio, like something like "Blue Fire in My Soul." I don't know. It's gonna be something really cool. So I can just see it coming, you know. So that's a
Blue
little,
Heat.
yeah, "Blue Heat in My Soul." There it is. Yeah. Well, Dane, you dusted me on
There you
that
go.
one, man. You had 4, I had 2. Tuesday, thanks for being a good sport. It's a little silly segment we do for personality called Rapid Fire. Hope you enjoyed that part. So,
Good, yes.
Dane, go ahead. Last segment on that.
On this last segment Tuesday, we call it open mic. We open the floor to our guests to maybe talk to some of our younger viewers and listeners that are on their path to greatness, like you are as well. Would there be maybe a mantra or a philosophy that you've carried through your life that maybe you can pass on to that next generation to kind of help them on their path?
Yeah, so I have 2. One is if you if you fail to plan, if you plan to fail, then, or if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. That's
Yep.
what it is.
Yep.
That's one that Coach White would always tell us. And so I loved hearing that. And I still take that into my day-to-day work. So, and it does show to be true. And then another one is just very simple. It's breathe. Growing up with the Firecrackers, they would always, Coach Rico would always say, you got to get your heart rate back at 70. And Coach Wright would say the same thing. 70, that's where you can think the most clear. You can do what you need to do. You can take care of business. You can slow down the game. And you just have to make sure you're breathing. And I've read so many books that talk about the power of your breath, and that again never fails me. And even whenever I was at UNT, or even at Texas too, I would write on my bat, breathe. And so as I was getting into the box, I would stare at my bat and I would take my breath, and then I would get ready to go. So that one is something that it really is close to my heart. Not only because it's shown to be true, but also it's just something that I can take with me within all things, any sport in life.
Yeah. And real life too, like you said, man. And this parallel, because it's so fascinating to hear the mind of an elite player. You played some of the biggest stages, obviously. You know, I mean, Big 12, one of the best softball conferences. But just like the moments, the moment that you're in it, the spotlight, people are cheering you on. You got this crowd just there watching you play, and to take a moment and just you in the bat, like to zone in. It's almost like how you see it in the movies, where like you zone in and it's just you in the bat. That's something to be said. Like that's easier said than done. Kudos to you for doing it, because that's something amazing. Would you agree, Dane? That's it.
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. I mean, so simple. You know, I was just getting ready to make that analogy as well. You know, you see those in the movies where this crowd quiets down and it's just you can hear your heartbeat and everything just slows down and you can just focus. So it's a great message for the youngsters out there that feel overwhelmed.
Wow.
And like you said, it carries beyond sport. It's with everything in life. You know, you have to center yourself to see everything around you. And, you know, the quicker you think, you only focus on one thing. So,
Wow.
Love the message.
Well, Tuesday, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh, I just said I still get goosebumps. Like as we were talking about it, I was getting goosebumps. So it's just it's so true. So
yeah.
Wow. Well, Tuesday, we definitely learn. We always say we learn more than our guests did. So I want to thank you, first of all, for making the time to do this. Thank you for not giving up on us, being persistent. We've made a friend. I appreciate that. We have to say, once you come on the show once, let it be the first of many. Now that you're an alum, as you continue your coaching career, we'd love to have you back on in the future. This was a true honor for us. And we were just very, very grateful. Us born and bred Sooners, we got love for you. It was nice to get you on the show. And we got to make sure we make this happen again sometime. Okay.
So. Absolutely.
Yes, of course. I want to thank you guys both for the opportunity and the platform to just share the good news of softball and share the good news of life. Because being a softball player is, yes, it's not my identity, but it has made me, it's a part of me and has made me the person that I am today. And so I just thank you for giving me a chance to voice my thoughts and the impact that it's made for me. So thank you again.
Of course, my
Thank
friend,
you.
we'll get this out to the world very soon. This will not be the last time. We'll be in touch very soon. And you have a great
Yeah.
night. And thanks for all you do for the sport. Okay. Much love.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Tuesday. Dan, I'm telling you, man, no wonder everybody loves her. Wasn't she amazing? What do you think of her?
Yeah. I like the message about going beyond just the sport and becoming something bigger because of the sport. So that's a good thing for all the young people that are doing not only sport but also music. Use that as a platform to make something bigger. That's a great message. It always is going to be, the prime message that we give to everybody is use what you can do well to amplify,
The message. Yeah.
yeah, the message. So it's
Isn't isn't
great to
is
hear it so succinct.
Isn't there a saying, I think it's called means to an end, right? If you think about some of the artists we've had on
Yeah.
and musicians, athletes, I remember even recently, man, we were talking to Judd Hill, the pro skater, to some of the
Mhm.
guitarists and all that. It's almost like they use their skill set. It's what you said, and Tuesday's no exception. They're using their skill set to promote good news,
Yeah.
to make people better. And I think that's so cool. Every time I hear this, and she was detailed, man. I almost would.
Yeah.
She's got that Peyton Manning like mind up for the field, right? She's breaking
Yeah.
down plays and remembering stuff, but she's not even so impressed with the greatness on the field. Every time it still trips me up. She's more happy about what she's doing for others. Did you catch that for the
Yeah.
girl that's
Yeah.
gone to college? Did you catch
Yeah.
that in her voice, you
Absolutely.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like she said, she gets goosebumps. She thinks about all the lessons she learned from other people. I mean, not just
Man.
for what she's doing for others, but what she's learned. And you can tell when she's talking, she's still learning from those lessons way back when.
Oh man, that was great. It was great. And I told her, I said, softball has opened our minds, you and I, like
Yeah.
we're from Oklahoma, but our friends in Oklahoma State and now even our friends in Texas, it has opened our mind that there's this gigantic world that gets smaller every day of softball. And where
Yeah.
our roots started, we had to come back to it as season three is just going full speed. We had to come back and give you guys some softball. So that was a real treat.
Yeah.
I love that one. So
Yeah. Loved it.
um, thank you Tuesday again on behalf of UNT and of course Texas and what you're doing with your coaching side. This will not be the last time we have her on the show. Got many big ones in store. I've learned to not
Yeah.
spill the beans, but you'll be hearing a lot more from us. So I just want to say thank you again on behalf of the show. Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane.
Thank you for listening.